All systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, a.k.a. ToeTagginTambo, back for another edition of the NFL Main Slate Show here on the Ship It Nation YouTube station. Week 12, going to break down all things ownership, roster construction, ways to play, how you play, not just who to play. Got Title, got Hoop here with me as always. And Hoop, you in first, man. It's another Sunday. The season is moving quickly, though. I did my December calendar up, and week 17 got onto the board for the last week of December. So we're moving through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, it goes very quickly. And yeah, I just retweeted our post about the show. I was like, oh my gosh, it's week 12. It's crazy. It hits you quick, but we still got a lot of football left. Got playoffs, the Thanksgiving slate, and we'll have some updates on that with our schedule here pretty soon. But that's this week, and that's obviously a lot of fun, very fun slate for DFS. But yeah, everything just keeps moving. So excited to talk through this one. A lot of I'd say like wide spreads, but really big team totals. So I think that's kind of the talk of this slate and how you navigate through all those games and teams that look to be in really, really good spots offensively.
Yeah, we'll get to the grand scheme overview as everybody likes to go with as we get to it. But first, got to congrats our boy, Mr. Title Crown, getting the job done last night in the MMA streets, 62.5K up top. I mean, just reminiscent of last week, Title, when our man Sharks and Ranger, they were up there, and now another 63K, give or take. Congrats, man. Big night in the streets for you. Love all the work that you put in. I know everybody appreciates it and maybe don't tell you enough, but you're amazing at what you do, and it's awesome to see when you get to the top. Congrats.
Thank you. It feels nice to run good at the end. But, I mean, yeah, it's been quite the run in MMA. The Ranger and Sharks last week, Hoop the week prior, I want to say. It's been good for a lot of members. So, yeah, it was nice to come through. It was like a consolation. Thursday night, I was pretty close. Needed the Houston first down. Was chilling up, solo shipping the 300 for a while. So that one stung a bit. We know the showdown game, though. Winning 300,000 to losing money in the tournament in the span of a minute and a half. So, yeah, we play a crazy game. There's no doubt about that. When you win, how much you win, that felt good. But today, it's not the when you win, how much you win. Because if you do win anything, you'll win a lot of cheese on Sundays. And we have 11 games on tap. So, yeah, let's try and parlay it into something tonight.
Let's do it, man. Keep it rolling. And, you never know how somebody else is thinking about it, but I know how I would be thinking about it. And funny you brought that up because I ain't texting you when I watch that 300K fall. I'm like, oh, man, I feel so bad. But it's like there's nothing you can do. I had a team up there, and it's like we're all battling for the same thing. You kind of figuring out who has what left. But I was like, if it ain't going to be me, I'm always cheering for somebody else on my squad. Once it happens, you're like, oh, brutal. But then you remembered it and you paid it off on Saturday just in a different way, like you said. And now you ride that heater into today. Best day to win is the Sunday with the most amount of money up top from open to close. We got the Sunday night football game later on tonight. I know our man Nade said they just finished recording that one as well. But Hoopster, I'll kick it over to you. A couple quick notes before we get into it. One, speaking of our man Sharks, he did up the prize pool. So he won 63K last week, put $5,124 into the prize pool for Ship It games. You still have a chance to get in. The best time to join, if you didn't join already, is right now, the final month of Ship It games. You'll get access to all of the entry opportunities, and there is 85,000 up top. And then, Hoop, I know you wanted to go through really quickly just the schedule changes for this week upcoming with my American Thanksgiving. You guys are American. Most watching this are American, but I love my Americans. I will be celebrating the Thanksgiving with you at my brother's house, enjoying the games back to back to back. But go ahead, Hoop.
Yeah, nice setup of game. So in terms of the content, the show will be going Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Myself, it's different group here. So it's myself, Title, and our guy Alex Blickel. So I'll join in on the leverage lane
Tambo,
conversation.
not Title.
Sorry, Tambo, Blickel, and myself, and I get to get in on some leverage lane talk. So see how I fit in with the boys. So excited for that. And then Ham and Nades will be doing a show for the Friday game, right? Friday afternoon game. Not sure if that'll be recorded or live, but we'll get that up on the schedule. So we got you covered with all the additional football coming up this week. Very excited for that.
Yeah, Title, I'm going to go to you first for the grand scheme overview. I will tell people to stick around, though, because I'm feeling it today. This is going to be a good day. When we get to game 3 with the Bengals, I've told you about the 2v2 swap-a-roo before. Today, I got a 4v4 swap the chalk core that's going to blow you away. It's a Exodia. It's like a one-time thing. I've never seen this before in my life, and I found it for this slate. It's going to win somebody a milli. Hopefully me, and we zap this thing off right before the end of November. But Title, I'll go to you first, man. What's your grand scheme overview? What you're seeing? I know we talked a little pre-show. There's a lot of defenses in play. There's some really heavy chalk at running back, and it's not 20 running backs deep like we've seen some of these slates where there's all these good options. So I'll kick it to you first. Your thoughts on the slate before we get into the game by game.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to Hoop the last 2 weeks. He had like a 5-minute breakdown. That was phenomenal. I didn't have to say much, but I'll try and take hoop shoes right here. So quarterback is really spread out. We talked about it on the Friday show. There's a lot of good plays in a lot of different ranges, a lot of high totals. So ownership, we always talk about quarterback is spread out. This week, it's even way more spread out. So whoever you want to play, I mean, you can play him and feel pretty confident about it. Running back, like you mentioned, I mean, huge news. We're waiting for Josh Jacobs. They said he's going to try and go through warmups and see. It seemed like earlier in the week he was more on the doubtful side. Now it seems like a true coin flip. That is huge news with Emmanuel Wilson. On both sides, he's cheap. 5,300 on DraftKings, though, would be one of the chalkiest on the slate. If he's in, it definitely mixes up the situation. Receiver, I mean, we have the studs to spend on. It seems like Amon-Ra is the one that's getting kind of condensed in terms of ownership because he's 1K cheaper than JSN. He's projected pretty similar to them. Just a lot of people want exposure to the Lions, and rightfully so. The Michael Wilson is back into this conversation. So receiver is not great in the sense of, I think double tight end and 3 running backs will definitely be the most popular build. And then tight ends, shout out FanDuel. They've got it right on pricing them in different tiers. McBride in a tier of his own, then Bowers, then the rest. DraftKings still slowly but surely are raising the pricing, but McBride should not be 6'8". He should be 7'8" or something like that. So he's going to be the popular tight end again. He's just not expensive enough. And with like the middling running backs with some lower value at receiver, people are fine paying down at quarterback. And then plenty of like Kyle Pitts, Hunter Henry, Mark Andrews, Kelsey. Like we're talking tight end or like wide receiver 2 options, sometimes like 3 on their team. And they're priced like they're, I don't know, wide receiver 5s at the end of the day. So I think double tight end will be very popular again.
Yeah, this is something else that came up. Who brought something else up that made me laugh? But this says broad slate overview, Mega Jam, Wilson, and McBride, Arizona stacks in general with Dortch, rinse and repeat. Yep, that works every single season. We've seen it. You just play the exact same thing as the week before, and we'll see how it works out. I'm guessing it won't, though, and there is other ways to play it. We will be talking a lot about that game when we get there, but there's definitely some differences. If you watched Leverage Lane yesterday with the aforementioned Alex Blickel and myself, we did break down some differences in that game. You still have time to go back even after this live show and watch it as well. But Hoop, do you have anything you want to add there as I'm keeping a woolly worm on my warm lip for the upper like just you can't even say that 3 times fast, but go ahead.
Woolly worm parked on Tambo's upper lip. That's a really good comment. That got me laughing. Kicked off the day in the right direction.
Shout out to John. Go ahead. Just Lions on the slate, by the way, too. These are your boys here.
Yes. Really good spot for the Lions, and a lot of really good spots. Title did a good job talking through the positions. I'll kind of go through some of these games where we have, big spread. Seattle favored by, 13. They're projected to score 26. You got the Lions favored by 13. They're projected to score 32. You have the Patriots projected to score 29 against the Bengals and their shitty defense. You got the Ravens projected to score right around 30. The Chiefs projected to score 27-28 range. And you got this Jaguars Cardinals game that everyone wants to be a part of with a 48 total. Both sides, look appealing. And, maybe the Eagles Cowboys lurking a little bit, 48 total. So a majority of these games have either a really nice total or a team that's projected to score a shit ton of points. So, to me, that tells me things should get pretty spread out, and we can kind of, when we go through the game, start to look at some of these teams that are in good spots that might get overlooked because of how many other really good options we have on the slate. So that's definitely the thing that stands out to me. A lot of teams / games looking to be very, very appealing today.
Yeah, and I want to say too, one thing that Title brought up that, I don't think anyone thinks differently. We'll see. Obviously, it is a true game time decision, but the Packers play on Thursday, right? I don't know why. We'll see. I mean, it's going to come out as soon as you guys got the news. If you get it before us, let us know. But it's definitely, in my opinion, that we wait and see, but that Josh Jacobs doesn't play. Like, they'll just hold him out another game. His own words on Saturday was like, I'm hoping I'm good to go, but if I'm not, I'll be back on Thursday for Thanksgiving. It means clearly they've had this conversation, and it just makes the most obvious sense. So we'll wait and see, but Emmanuel Wilson will be a big portion of this slate later. So we'll talk about it as we get through it, but let's start with this first game. Hoop, I'm going to stay with you. It's the Jets at the Ravens. You talked about the big team total. This is a survivor extravaganza spot this week. It's like the best if you've got the Ravens left. So big boy favorites at home. It's Tyrod Taylor subbing in on the other side for the Jets. Got Mason Taylor over there. You got a Donnie Mitchell if you want to roll that way. But the Ravens side looks pretty appealing as well. What do you got here, Hoop?
Yeah, so I think, Ravens are one of those teams that are projected to score a lot today. They're favored by a lot at home, and they're not going to be all that highly owned. It seems like people are just, kind of overpaying for these high-end quarterbacks for the most part. Like we saw it last week with Josh Allen, very low ownership, nuked the slate. I mean, just absolutely nuked it. You needed him. Lamar Jackson, his ownership is looking to be very low today. We're showing, what do we got? We have at like 5-6 range, which I think is probably pretty reasonable, and it's easy to play them. So, it depends how many teams you're building. Like if you're doing even like 20 teams, I would try to get some sort of Lamar Jackson exposure. Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, I think are the two guys to look to pair him with. I guess could throw Likely in there too. And then Derrick Henry. Like, if it's not going to be Lamar in the passing game, this could be a Derrick Henry 3-touchdown game, and he's not looking to have crazy ownership either. He's coming in. We have it, 11. I think that's probably pretty fair, probably 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that range, and could just absolutely nuke the slate. I mean, they are at home, favored by 13, projected to score 30 real-life points, and Newlands likes to play Henry Smash. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised today. So I want exposure to it. If you're doing 10 teams, I would find a way to get some sort of exposure to it, whether it's, Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson stack. I'll be doing 150, and I'll make sure I'm overweight on as many of these spots as possible. So, good game, should be low owned, and I'm not playing anything on the Jet side. Absolutely not on this slate. They're projected to score 15 real life points. Ravens D's in playing. Ravens are on this path where they can't, fuck around. Like they gotta win a lot of football games, and it should be an easy one here today.
Agreed. Title, you got today was like no weather, right? I think I saw maybe 10 miles an hour somewhere randomly, and it was like I don't even know why it was posted, because the whole tidbit was like it doesn't matter, so who cares? But nothing really crazy as far as weather goes, not like last week in any way. Any different thoughts here on this one? It's the Ravens at home versus the Jets. I'll kick it over to you, Title.
Yeah, nothing in terms of weather, so we're good there. And I don't really have much more to add with Hoop. Like the Ravens are implied for one of the most on the slate. All their ownership's in check. Yeah, I like a lot of spots on this slate, but I'm going to play some Lamar when I play them. Andrews and Likely are my two favorites just because they're so cheap and allow you to spend at other places. I'm fine playing a little Zay Flowers too. You can play Lamar in a skinny stack just because of his rushing upside. And if I don't go that way, I think Derrick Henry, Ravens defense is very strong as well. I mean, I think the Ravens move the ball. I'm always bullish on the Ravens though, so I'm not really sure what that means. I think they put up a lot of points. It's just you got to get the right one right. And I think I lean the running game and Henry, I think, over the passing game, just for the sense of if they're up by 14, 17 or something early, why not pound the big dog? But yeah, I think the Ravens individual pieces are pretty strong.
Definitely like the big dog. And I think you said it. Look, everyone's caught on to it now that the Ravens have just kind of got the easiest schedule and are going to win their way out and make it happen. I don't know if they'll completely win out, obviously, but it feels like a really good opportunity for them to do everything they need to do to still get it done, win the division. And then you got to deal with a scary Ravens team in the playoffs where it's one and done and anything can happen. But you were definitely on that very early, even when the sort of downturn was happening. So love to see that. Ravens hopefully come through today as they should. So I like this spot. The Zay spot, somebody mentioned in the chat, definitely looks good as well. I brought up a tidbit earlier this week on that one that I thought was kind of interesting. So Zay could be in a good spot here. And then Mark Andrews, again, part of the chat mentioned it, but no Bateman again. And like Andrews has already been getting the 13 to 15 fantasy point type games in. He's the type of guy that can still get a touchdown, maybe, 6 to 8 catches. Like, it can definitely be a solid game for 3,800. I know that McBride is on this slate at just 6,800, but like Title said earlier, you could still get to the 2 tight end lineups and whatnot as well. So tough to run it back, but if you're running like a mini stack here, I'd probably go with AD Mitchell and Henry and just hope that he pushes it a little bit at 3,200, but really hard to go that route. And then even Mason Taylor, who would make sense, but it's tight end spot again, where I think there's not a ton of options, but there's a ton of options that can actually score and do well at the 1Z position that will add up much more. So that said, Title, stay with you. We'll go to game number 2 here. It is the Steelers at the Bears. Looks like a lot of talk around the Josh Jacobs stuff. I think it's going to be Rudolph, but I still, even 2 hours ago, it didn't show official yet for the Aaron Rodgers thing. I don't know if you saw anything different, but your thoughts here, Steelers at the Bears.
Yeah, no, I didn't really see much. And to be honest, I don't think I really care. Like, I just don't like Rodgers or Rudolph in this spot. And I really don't like this game at all in general. There's just so many great games on the slate. Now, I did see, I think it was the Bears, like 3 of their linebackers are out or something. Again, it's just like, man, DK Metcalf. Like, I'm not playing these tight end roulette with all 3 of these guys. I mean, if Darnell is going to keep getting the ball and trucking 4 dudes, maybe I'll play some. But no, DK Metcalf, he's a monster. He's 5,300. It'll be relatively low owned. Other than that, maybe a Luther Burden for cheap, 3,600. It's a rookie that slowly but surely they're starting to get more and more involved. Has some big play upside. He's cheap. No one's going to play him. Sure, but one of my least favorite games.
Wow. Okay. I kind of like this Caleb stack. I know our man Rio's got a little bit of interest on this one, getting his dream ride yesterday. Shout out to Rio. That thing is sick, by the way. He posted the picture on X. The upgrade, it's like I forget, it's like, like it's black on black. He goes black on black, but it's quite the difference in vehicle. Absolutely love to see it. Congrats to him on that. But I know he's got a little interest in this spot hoop, and you can play like Caleb, Rome, Burden. You can run it back with Metcalf. They all do pop a little bit on the stone too, but you know what you're getting. You definitely have to, you're playing into more blue tags in the turquoise color for the potential upside versus the safety. That's for sure. What's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely more on the title side of things, where I just don't have that much interest, just from the fact like there's really good spots on this slate. We just talked about one in the previous game that's going to be low owned. I would rather go with like one of those spots than this low owned spot, because I don't love it. And like the Bears starting to mix in these other guys, it's just not as clear. I definitely don't want anything on the Steelers side outside of DK. And I agree. Like if Darnell Washington's tight end 1 and they're going to keep getting him the ball, I would want to be overweight on him just to watch him like get the football and just run over dudes, like just fully run them over. But they mix in too many guys. So just DK on that side. But with the Bears, there's now starting to mix in more guys. Monungai, Luther Burden, like talked about, they still mix in Zacchaeus, the tight ends. They have multiple tight ends. It's just not a clear stack. It is going to be low owned, but like a lot of these spots are going to be low owned, and I like them better. So I won't have much. I mean, in my 150, I might get to some of this Bear stuff, but it would be a small amount, and I would likely end up underweight to the field.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those stacks that you get. If you got to have it, you got to have it, but you're going to need the right spot of it with Odunze, with Burden, with other guys there, and Loveland, etc. Swift also. It can be tricky as well. So makes sense for that perspective. Maybe you like this next game a little bit better than Hoop. We'll keep it moving here. Patriots at the Bengals. Want to get your thoughts on this one. There's a lot of love here, really, for both sides, I would say. And so I'll let you talk through it and break it all down, but there's definitely options in this game.
Yeah, it's a good game. I mean, for sure. The Bengals defense is terrible. The Patriots are projected to score 29. I guess like the one concern, not necessarily a concern, but if you are playing Drake May, it's like it has to be Diggs, Henry, and that's probably it, unless you want to take a chance on one of these other guys. You just don't know who the other options are, who it's going to be. We've seen just so many times where it looks like it's going to be Booty, then it's Hollins, or now they're getting this Kyle Williams involved a little bit. So it does make it somewhat difficult, just because the two guys you're going to play are the clear best options, and everyone that plays Drake May is going to have him paired up with probably one of those two. I guess you could play him naked. The running back situation, I think, is definitely risky on the slate. Travion Henderson has looked really good, but Ramondre Stevenson is coming back, and it's been very hard to predict what they're going to do with that backfield. And I think it's going to be difficult today. And then with Henderson, like you're paying a big boy price tag because of how well he's played. So you're not getting like a price break. So he's got to go out there and do something that makes it somewhat difficult. I will have some Henderson in case they say, in their head, they're like, all right, we've seen enough. Like, this is our guy. So I will have some, but tough to take a big stance on him. No, Jamar Chase on the Bengals side. T. Higgins, I think, is fine. Better priced on FanDuel. They do get Gesicki back, 2.6K, full punt, tight end. We always love that. Yoshi Voss, Tinsley, you can keep in the mix, and then Chase Brown is a really good play at 6-2. So this is a good game overall. I mean, a lot of pieces. I'll be probably overweight to it, but like I said, the concern I do have is on the Patriots side. Maybe you guys can talk me into something else, but it's like if playing Drake May, it just feels like it's got to be like Diggs or Henry, and I just don't think you can play really any of these other pass catchers. So that's kind of where I'm at on this one.
Yeah, I got a few thoughts here, Title, and I'm going to save my 4v4 for a couple more games and then tie it all together, actually, now that I thought of it. But before I do kick it over to you, Title, just thoughts. I want to ask you this one. First of all, people are dying to make Mike Gesicki work, and I get it, and he used to play for the Pats and all this stuff. Like, probably a way better anytime touchdown bet. Watch him do his little gritty that's pretty good, I guess, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it's just overplayed, but that's what you're getting. Whether or not he's required in DFS, I don't know, because again, it's taking up a tight end spot. He is 2,600, so he can make other things fit, but there's also other options on this slate that can do that definitely have a much higher ceiling in that case. So your thoughts on that? And then also, this one was brought up, I think it was yesterday or on Friday. I want to ask you what this thought. Remember, and we'll get to this team later, but remember the game London was ruled out late, and now in this case, we got Jamar Chase out early, but then everyone was in on Bijan. Everyone's in on Chase Brown. The other team just said, you know what? We're just going to solve this quick and make Joe Flacco throw. And by the way, we got Gonzalez or whatever. We can just put on Higgins. How is this going to work out? Is there any chance here you think that since he just doesn't do anything and the Chase Brown play falls apart a little bit, obviously getting 8 and 14 targets the last 2 weeks and now no Jamar Chase? I'm just curious how you feel about that side of things.
Yeah, I definitely could see that possibility. If they get after Flacco, Patriots have a good defense. The thing is that, like you mentioned with Chase Brown, they could get blown out and the game just looks so ugly and he could catch 9 balls because he could have no time in the pocket and it's just a 2-yard hitch route, curl route, just a safety right in the middle of the field, and then he gets 3. So Chase Brown just has a lot of outs to get there in full point PPR. I'm definitely concerned a little bit. The Gesicki thing, it's funny you said that because that was the play that was staring me in the face, and I'm trying to get down on ownership because I could see him getting steamed to an extent. When I say steam, 10, 11, 12%. That's steam for me with Mike Gesicki when I'm looking at a 28.5 receiving prop and plus 450 to score. But he's so cheap. If you want to play McBride, him, and then spend up at places, it makes it work. And if that's the case, I mean, Mike Gesicki, really, like his first game back, I mean, no offense there. I get there's no Jamar Chase, but I mean, if he's 4% owned, sure. I mean, he's really cheap. He falls in the box once, great. 11% though is a real number. I'm trying to figure out where it lands, and I'm not really going to be playing too much Flacco stuff. So, and the other side's really tough for me. Like Hoops mentioning, Booty's back in the mix. So Mac Hollins has a real role on this team. Diggs, Pop Douglas, Hunter Henry, Drake May's own legs. Now Stevenson's back. So is it rushing? I mean, our man Nung. Nung, hope you pronounce it well. I mean, he won 100K or whatever with Drake May. So even if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I think he just skinny stacked it when he did it. It's really tough. May's probably going to score well. I feel like I'll play him and I'll pick the wrong guy with him, which is kind of holding me back a little bit in this game. I like it. I don't love it though. Chase Brown, my clear favorite play. I'm worried with Christian Gonzalez on T. Higgins. Like I like T more with Jamar Chase almost because his ownership's lower. And the defenses don't have to worry about him as much. Now it's just keying on T. Higgins, make Yoshi Voss beat you. And yeah, he ain't beating anything.
I wish if someone has it, just tag me or post it in the chat or do anything with it. I'm curious if someone has the sample size and the numbers on T. Higgins without Chase. Because I'll say this, T. Higgins is a 1 on a lot of teams in this NFL. But I don't know if it's a product of the fact that it's always nice when there's some coverage sitting on Jamar Chase out there because you got to stop that guy, or at least try to. Interestingly enough, on the May side, and I've actually coined this, someone's putting it in there, like I call him May Holmes because it's like really hard to stack them. But I think it's totally different in one sense, at least this week specifically, and just in general, is it's 69, 65, and 3,900 to put it with the clear cuts. When people are like, well, with Mahomes, why don't you just stack him with Rice and Kelsey and call it a day? It's like, well, that's priced in. Like it's also priced in on top of it of what they like to spread it around. But that stack costs 68, 77, and 5. Like, and then you can get screwed on that stuff. At least I can get away with a little bit more. Get away with a little more with Drake May. Maybe that's how you put it together today. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But just in general, there is some leverage in this game. I'm going to save it, but I think the Patriots D, I think Henderson, Diggs, we talked about him. If Hunter Henry's another one too, Hoop, and then you can go to your Lions at home. But I'll kick it to you on this last thought. Hunter Henry is always gets like talked about. I know he doesn't always steam up fully, but have you ever looked at his game log? I know you like to look at some of these kicker game logs when we check them out, but have you ever seen Hunter Henry's game log where he doesn't have any games over 10 points except once on like week 2?
Yeah, it was early in the season. I know for sure. And I mean, I think people just, you're right. He's done nothing besides 1 week and does tend to get a lot of ownership. I think it's just the problem. Like a lot of people look at those wide receivers and is like, man, I don't know who it's going to be. At least I know Henry's going to be on the field, so they feel comfortable playing him. But you're right, he hasn't done really anything. He's only been needed 1 week, and but he was needed in a big way that week. So it looks like he put up like 29. So I'm with you.
We're waiting for that game. Maybe it's today, and that's why I don't feel as bad about stacking it like that. So, all right, let's see. Go to the Lions at home. This is a big spot on the slate, Hoop. We've talked about this, seasons in the past together, doing these shows for a long time now, of saying like, look at this 30-point team total at home, bounce back spot. Also, the nice thing about this, and I know everyone's looking to make it all work, and I'm fine with that. We'll talk about it when I kick it back over. But just to go into you first, Hoop, is Dan Campbell will just put up points. Nobody needs to keep up. Nobody needs to do anything. He'll just drop 50 on you and let his guys go. So got to think about this spot in, for me at least, pretty much every lineup. I'm having a thought around this team.
Yeah, I mean, this is the spot right here. And, you don't have to be a huge Lions fan to understand like how this team operates. And you kind of touched on it with Dan Campbell. They're willing to just continue to put up points offensively. And they're coming off an absolute stinker offensively last week. And people were questioning his play calling and all that after the Eagles game. What do you think is going to happen today? This man is going out there and going to try to put up 50 real life points, and he might be able to do it because this Giants defense is terrible. They're at home. They're in the dome. The whole thing with Goff where he sucks outdoors, which he does, and he has many other issues, but at home in a dome against a bad defense, like he's fine. He's going to be good. Like I just feel so confident that they put up like 40 today and maybe try to get to 50. Like they're going for a big boy number, and I'm with you. Like I want some piece of this in a majority of lineups. I want, big pieces. I want overstacks. I want as much Lions offense as I can get today. And yes, they are going to be popular. There's no doubt about it. Jahmyr Gibbs going to be popular. Amon-Ra St. Brown going to be popular. I just don't see a path where one of those two just doesn't absolutely go off. So I'm playing as much of this as possible with Goff, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams. I don't mind Brock Wright as the cheap tight end. We talked about Gesicki getting steamed up. Why not play Brock Wright? 7 targets last week. Goff has always been willing to throw to him, even when Laporta is healthy. So, I'm going to be in on this one in a really, really big way. It just seems like a very clear Lions go off offensively. Now, the problem is, I guess not necessarily a problem because I have no problem. I don't think like there's viable, solid run backs. Like Wan'Dale Robinson is the guy. Like you can play with him. You don't have to. Like you definitely don't have to stacking the Lions. Like this could be, in my eyes, like 40-10 game. I wouldn't be surprised if it was something like that. So, Wan'Dale is fine, but I don't want too much more of this Giants offense. But I feel very confident the Lions put up a big boy number today.
I'm pulling it up in a second, but I'm doing this one first. Our man Scary, always here supporting. We appreciate you. Says, I like Detroit. Wonders of what if there's no pushback. The thing about this is I'll still take everything Hook just said in 3 quarters happening, because last time they had a 30.5 point team total at home last season I think they had 36 at the half and then continued it on into the third, and then they shut it down after that. So it just doesn't really matter to me. My man Willie K at home in a dome, Googling on Chrome, latte with foam, answer the phone. This guy's all over it, man. Just absolute bars. Love to see that, Willie. We appreciate you. That's what the show's all about, having fun, and that's what we love to do at the Nation. I know Title was having some fun last night, celebrating the big MMA W, 62.5K. Give me your thoughts on this one, Title. We got the Giants at the Lions, and I guess that is one of the thoughts. I'm going to let you do whatever you want with this game and talk about it however, but there has been enough chatter for me to bring this up in the Discord and even in the chat and, different things about what if Jameis does show up in this one enough to push it some, and then we actually get a nice little back and forth. It makes it just as appetizing, but it's on the Jameis side, and then you got like Robinson, Slayton, Hodgins, Johnson, and mixing it in. You can afford all those studs on the other side. It kind of makes it all work.
Yeah, and he's 4,600. I've been going back and forth on that. My buddy's been trying to talk me into it all week. It can make sense to me in the fact of they're in a dome. They should be trailing. He'll sling it forever. We've seen Jacoby Brissett just get there like this a couple weeks now. It's simming poorly, which is a problem for me, but I'm trying to balance like just the sims and what I think of football. He's going to be so low owned. It's a different way to attack the most popular game on the slate. Wan'Dale's already a popular piece in it, so you're getting different by playing Jameis, who's already free with a popular piece, and you can run back, 2-3 of these guys if you really wanted an onslaught. So honestly, I don't hate the Jameis spot. But man, the Lions, I'm truly debating. I'm curious to hear your takes on it. 150 maybe a little harder, but to make a min one rule for these Lions, like these touchdown props is just minus 330 for Gibbs, minus 150 T-Mont, minus 130 Amon-Ra, plus 150 J-Mo. Like it feels really hard to see none of them getting there. Now, how do none of them make the optimal? All four of them just got a touchdown, and it's just not fully enough on 11 game slate to get there. I think they put up a big number. I love Dan Campbell calling plays. We talked about it on Friday, just for the sense of I think he understands the game. And all right, this is an Amon-Ra drive or a J-Mo drive. Like we got to get our best players involved, and it feels like he calls plays pretty efficiently to do that. So I love all the Lions. There's nothing I don't like. I see Demont is the lowest owned and leverage off of Gibbs, Amon-Ra kind of that way and favored to score. So that's something I'll embrace. I like Goff a lot. And then, Slayton's back, Theo Johnson, Wan'Dale. You have some run backs. You don't even need them, like you said, though. But the Lions are in a smash spot.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is I brought this up yesterday, Hoop, and I don't have too many more takes on this. I'll save them for the next game and then tie it all together. But I could go the Jameis side. I'll say that much. Like we talked about, Hodgins is getting no ownership anymore. I called it last week. I thought it would be a big game. He had 5 for 53. It wasn't that good, but it was something, and they involved him right away. I thought that was going to be the case. I actually don't think they let off just because Slayton comes back. I think he's like 6'3", 200, fast, big boy movements. Like he can do a lot out there for them. And I feel like that's just fine. Obviously, you know what you're getting with Slayton is sort of the home run shot that speeds this game up. So he makes a ton of sense in it, but you can play them together in these stacks to make it all work. Sometimes the best way to mix up a stack of a popular team like the Lions is to get some run backs from the other side and just double down on that way. So there's that. Also, Hoop, everybody wanted the defense against Jameis last week, and it seems like nobody wants the Lions sitting right there in between the pay-ups of like the I guess like Packers and Raiders are right below them. And then above them, you've got like, the Seahawks going up against the Titans and some other teams there also. So you could just do like a Montgomery with the Lions D as well. And just hope that that's the way it goes. Title brought up Montgomery. He's going to come up again here shortly, but definitely think interesting spot with him. Anything else to add on that, Hoop? If not, you can take us into the Packers game at home.
Yeah, I will make sure to get some Lions defense. I will force that in a little bit. I want some exposure to it. I mean, they're at home favored by, 2 touchdowns, and, Jameis Winston is throwing the football. So I always will have defenses going against Winston. There's no doubt about that. Packers game, this is all dependent on Josh Jacobs. I haven't seen anything new, so they're probably just going to take us all the way to inactive. So we're probably not going to know for another hour, but it's pretty clear. Like, if Jacobs is out, Wilson becomes a really good play. I struggle with the Jordan Love stuff and their pass catchers. I know Nades will be in here pumping it up in a minute. So you guys can get his advice. But for me, it's there he is. There he is. He heard the chirping. But I just don't have much interest in this one. Again, there's low owned spots all over the slate. I don't want like the Vikings. I think they look terrible. Their offense looks terrible. But I don't want the Jordan Love stuff. I mean, this game has a low total. It'll just be a lot of Emmanuel Wilson, and then if Jacobs is in, I'm not messing with that. Like, I'm not messing with that at all. I think Wilson would get some additional work if Jacobs is in. So it's either Wilson or bust for me in this game. I don't want anything else.
Our man Caddy's in the Discord and now in the YouTube chat. He just posted the picture, though, in our Discord NFL channel. He's on the way to the Ravens game. He got a Ship It Nation hoodie on. You love to see that. And I'm with you, my man. We're definitely cheering for King Henry today. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But title, I'm operating on this game currently, at least, as though Jacobs is going to be out and they're just going to save him for Thanksgiving. If he hops into the game and plays, then obviously it's not like I'm excited to play him, and it would just take more away from Emmanuel Wilson, most likely. But give us your thoughts on this game and how you're handling it.
3 guys: Emmanuel Wilson, if he plays, Romeo Doubs, there is no Golden, and Christian Watson. He's been good. I mean, the thing with Jordan Love, I've never really been a fan, but what he will do is he'll just sling that ball 50 yards downfield and let your guy make a play. And Christian Watson's the clear deep guy. So I know, shout out to Rio. He had a good call in his value report last week as a slate breaker, and he was super low owned. There's just a lot of air yards, a lot of big play potential. It can get behind the defense. So I'll play a guy like that that's 2% owned. Leverage off of Wilson as well. And I do think Doubs gets a little bit of ownership. Again, I'm fine with it. He is the wide receiver 1, but I do think as the years go, or as the weeks go, Watson's eating into it. I mean, props 50.5 for Romeo, 49.5 for Watson. JJ McCarthy's got to figure it out before I touch any Vikings on my team.
Big revenge game today, Aaron Jones.
Happy to see him back. Yeah, Aaron Jones, he's the man. Tough for DFS, though.
I was doing my calendar up yesterday, Hoop, and maybe Danny's mentioned it in the past, but you got a Christmas Day battle. We'll be Christmas Eve show. We'll be chatting it up with your boy Danny, and you guys might have to get a shoey bet on the go or something. Maybe Danny will have to show his face and drop it, and we'll repost it from the account, or Hoop does another one for everybody at Christmas time. Maybe that's the case.
Yeah, get Santa's boot off his feet and get a shoey going in Santa's boot maybe. But man, the Lions will be looking. They need some revenge in that game because that was one of the worst losses they've had this season, losing to the Vikings at home.
Well, they'll be wanting to pay it back. That's what Dan Campbell does. So
yes.
All right, it's time. Scary brings it up. This is a once a season thing that you can do. So this is the 4v4 flip the chalk core. Listen to this one. Exact money. If you play right now, go look at all your lineups that have this. You've got Jahmyr Gibbs in there. You've got Chase Brown in there at home. You got Emmanuel Wilson in there. And then you got the Raiders defense in there. And you got yourself a nice little setup. You're feeling good. They're all at home. They're all in great spots. Shador Sanders is going to get to that later. All this stuff. The exact swap is for Derrick Henry at home with almost a 30-point team total against the Jets. It's Trevion Henderson to flip the build on Chase Brown by leveraging him, but also leveraging Drake May. By the way, they're scheduled to put up almost 30 points, and you're not just hoping for checkdowns. And then it's David Montgomery over over Wilson, because you want to get him instead of Gibbs, and you definitely still want a piece of that game. And it gives you the money for either the Patriots defense with Henderson to leverage Chase Brown, or you could just play the Lions and say, you know what? Everyone wanted to go against Jameis last week. This week, the wind might not swing the ball in a dome, and everyone will just catch all those balls, and it'll be 5 interceptions paired with David Montgomery, and that's how the Lions get their points. That is the 4v4 swap the chalk core. All that chalk is chalk for a reason. There's definitely positives to it, but if you want to take an aggressive stance, I don't think it's that crazy to play the 3 running backs from the teams that are scheduled to put up 30 points or more in their spots. And Henderson's the scary one, but huge leverage coming off 2 30-point games. Great matchup against Bengals. And then on top of it, it's against Chase Brown and leveraging Drake May at the same time. And you get to pick a defense that's not popular either. So title, thoughts on that? And then you can take us into the Chiefs game at home versus the Colts.
Yeah, kind of like I was going to mention with this, Stevenson going to run into Henderson rushing attempts. I mean, that the projection and why no one's really playing Trevion is that. And at the end of the day, you don't really know. Like when you go into projections and props and all that, you have to come up with a split. Is it 60-40, 60, whatever it is? If Tambo thinks it's 75-25 Trevion, I promise you he'll have a better projection at any site you look at, or he then would, and then he becomes a better play. So spots like that are a little tough to project. actually is good in tournaments if you do think that it's projected wrong. So if Travion's still the lead back, and to be honest, I don't know why he wouldn't. Stevenson's fumbled. He's had some games he's looked fine. Travion's looked great, though. You can do a lot with that. Demont the same price. Yeah, you thought through that one. I could tell. $0.
And not just that, yeah, because it's what you said. You nailed it. But it's also, it's not even, if you don't want to flip the projection, that's fine. It's still football. It's still look at the stone. The Bengals are a D+ matchup. The Patriots are scheduled to put up almost 30 on the road. And hopefully another PA team, the Patriots, hopefully they watched the Panthers suffer through putting Dowdle back on the bench when he's on fire because of Chuba Hubbard coming back. And they put Stevenson has 15 fumbles. And you want to bring him right back in and just off an injury and just chuck him right. He'll get into the mix for sure. There's going to be a split, but the split is the split equals the scaredness of people going to this spot. That's why they're not touching it. Otherwise, it would be a great spot. If there was no, think about it this way. If there was no Stevenson this week, there is, I get it, but people would be all over Henderson in this spot now, like nobody's playing him, and he leverages Drake May too. It's a win-win from a tournament perspective and playing the game versus what you know about ball and all this other stuff for people wondering. It's a risk for sure, but I'm willing to take it on. And I think it's valuable in tournaments this week.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, David. Unfortunately, though, we've the Rico situation, and times we can think something, and clearly the coach or whoever's in charge disagrees.
He makes a good point.
He is right. Vrabel is one guy that I would put more faith into than a lot of these other donkeys. I do
Vrabel
agree
would
with
listen
that.
to Hoop. I think Vrabel would sit down in a conversation with Hoop and be like, yeah, that's right. These guys are idiots. Why would they not do that? And then he would just be like, watch this and roll it out there. You got to be a Vrabel guy, Hoop. You got to think he's going to do it your way.
Yes, I do like Vrabel. He's one of the few NFL coaches that I think is solid. There's not many. There's definitely not many, and he is one that I do like.
Yeah. Love that. Go ahead, Title. Take it away. We got Kansas City at home against the Colts here. Big total. No one's really touching this game. That's the interesting point of it, but probably because they finally recognize that playing Mahomes on a main slate is just crushed.
Yeah, maybe I'll keep trying. I don't know. I don't love it much, but I always love Rashee Rice, and he has that Amon-Ra pivot right in the same range for $300 cheaper. I mean, Travis Kelce's been good. There's been no denying that. Only $5K, which is, again, every single tight end I think is pretty much underpriced on this slate. Playing any two tight end builds is totally good with me. So 20 plus upside at $5K is good. I can't go to my guy Worthy right now. Kareem Hunt. Oh gosh, I've tripped this guy all year in this. But you're talking game theory. The game we play, 5,100. So he's 200 less than Wilson, 200 less than Montgomery. Pretty much no other viable running back, in my opinion, cheaper than that 5,300 tag. No Isaiah Pacheco, 3-point favorites at home, implied for 27. He's minus 115 to score. It's just clear numbers play. Get exposure to this game. He can fall in the box twice. It's a gross click, but yeah, I'll be playing a little today. My favorite Colt, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's Alec Pierce. I mean, this guy, I just pretty much copy and paste what I said about Christian Watson. He's just such a downfield threat. He's so good at it too. I mean, he's been doing this for his career, just his body position going up to get it. Yeah, Danny Dimes gives him big home run potential. JT and all them are so expensive. Give me Pierce. So if he connects on one long play, that speeds up this game too. If I am playing Mahomes, I probably want to play Pierce because that is really what gets it going. All right, 3 plays touchdown for the Colts because Pierce just got a 60-yarder. Mahomes right back on the field and go about it that way. So a game that's not really getting much love. The total's good, but like you said, it's the pricing on the Colts side, and then Mahomes has been tough, but I'll have a little bit.
What about you? Everyone's got it's opposite of government names. It used to be all government names like Ross Klein, and now it's Mr. R. Klein 16 pops up. And even for Danny, I saw earlier, it's at Danny Pettiford something else. It's different.
Yeah. Was it a StreamYard, just an update or something? I take it.
It was.
Since that day.
My friend though did text me on Snapchat. Shout out to my boy. He texted me. He's like, "It is messing around," and it was messing around. Me and Hoop were like,
"Oh, that was wild."
That pissed me off, man. He said, "You're getting so mad." I was like, "Yeah, I hate that shit. If it don't work, I don't like it." But you can Google the definition for never, Ross. We love you. But that means never. So definitely not changing my stance there. Hoop, I'll kick it to you. Same game here. Mahomes, Rice, Kelce. The other side, you got 10K, Jonathan Taylor. And then Title brought up a good point. People probably wouldn't expect it, but Alec Pierce just pops off every game. and it's just quietly done. But it's like, bet is over on his yardage, and that's typically over in the first quarter.
Yeah, I don't hate that play. Jonathan Taylor, expensive, and no one's going to play him. Like, we're showing like very low ownership on Jonathan Taylor. Like, if you're playing a lot of teams, like, you just got to get some. I'm going to have some Jonathan Taylor for that reason, just because the ownership is so low. So many tight end plays this week. Like, Tyler Warren definitely has to get squeezed a little bit. I think he's fine. I don't mind that Kareem Hunt call. There's just not anything super cheap at running back, and they clearly trust him the most. He could have a 2-touchdown game. I like Rashee Rice. He's fine. I think Kelsey's a really good play. I mean, Kelsey, coming off the big game, still cheap. We know a lot of people are going to be spending on McBride at tight end or going super cheap. Like, I like Kelsey there in the middle. And the one thing I will say about Mahomes, I'm not going to, tell you what to do, but on FanDuel, he's like 8,100. We did talk about it in the cash show. He's really cheap on FanDuel, so you can make a lot work on DK. He's obviously up there. I'm going to have some just because I'm playing Rice and Kelsey, but I get it. I mean, this is a game. Like, if you go like a Mahomes stack with Jonathan Taylor on the other side, like, that's going to be probably very, very low-owned combination. This game has a 51 total. It has a big boy game total. So, things could happen here. And I mean, my favorite part for sure in this game is definitely Kelsey, though. I like Kelsey a lot this week.
Like that. That's usually how I'll get access. Like, I like that call quite a bit. 6K on FanDuel when McBride is 8,500. We'll get to McBride here in a couple of the games, but just got the news Aaron Rodgers will be out. So it is Mason Rudolph day for Pittsburgh headed into Chicago. So again, we talked about that already. I don't think that changes too much anyways, title, but just thinking about it out loud. Yeah, it doesn't change much at all really. So, Metcalf, I think is fine. You're going back to it. And then obviously if you're going to stack it up, the Chicago side still works. You just got to pick and choose your spots, and you could run it back with a guy like Metcalf.
Maybe slight downgrade to Metcalf slightly, in my opinion. Just Rodgers he has laser eyes on these guys. He'll look off the safety, but he knows pre-snap. He wants to get it to DK. So maybe the only thing there is slight downgrade DK.
Yeah, and 5,300 at least it's kind of
good
baked
price
in either way, but it's we're waiting for the big spot. This is the one we would hope if it's going to be one. So not too much else here for me to add. The Jonathan Taylor price, 10K on both sides. To Hoop's point, I mean, I should have said maybe never Mahomes on DK. Maybe it's you need Mahomes on FanDuel, but I think at just Kelsey alone at 6K over there, and even 5K on DraftKings, both fine spots. I like the titles call on Pierce. And Pacheco is out. If you want to, it's not like I like Kareem Hunt. I'm just saying, if you think they're going to put their team total up and you don't want it to be from Mahomes and everybody else, you better hope it's from that. It's a tough rush defense to go up against, but maybe the Rices and the, Tyquans of the world catch a DPI, and all of a sudden you got Hunt at the 1 yard line. That seems to be his MO anyway. And that's where he gets it done. So we'll see. But let's move on, title. Let's go to the next game here. It is the last of the morning games. Titans, huge team total of maybe 13, something like that, sitting at home against the Seahawks. And JSN is 9K on this slate. So give us your thoughts here. I don't know if you feel the same about him as sort of JT at 10K, but you got Seahawks going into Tennessee. What do you got with this one?
Yeah, I prefer JSN just for the fact that 1K does go a little farther, and I think receiver is weaker than running back, so the opportunity costs a little less there. I like JSN. The dude is, what a season he's putting on. He's just always open. It's really, really fun to watch. Last week, that one-handed snag just throws out his left arm, sticks to the glove. He's so smooth. Shot all those Ohio State receivers. Other than that, Barner, like if you want to get he's really involved, was A.J. Barner. Darnold liked him a lot, so I don't hate that, but pretty much it's Seahawks defense if you want to spend up. It's JSN if you want to spend up. I don't know. I guess I'll throw it back to you. Otherwise, Barner, like more one-offs. But what are you doing with Sam Darnold? Is it enough to go just Darnold, JSN? I don't love it on this slate, but he's had a heck of a year.
I pulled him from the slate plan this morning, and it was based on lineups. I've talked about this a ton in the past, so it's a good point. The thing about JSN is I think he can still have like a 35-point game, and you don't need Darnold still.
Agreed.
Also, it was a sell from Blickel yesterday. My man told me on the Leverage Lane show, he said, like, even if JSN has that big game, how many have it attached to Sam Darnold could be like 1% or 2%. So then they've got a bunch of other stuff wrong. So if you want to play JSN, you could just play him. He can catch 8 balls, 150 and it doesn't necessarily mean a max game from, Sam Darnold. We'll have to wait and see how the rest of it goes. It's also really hard to pick right after that. So yeah, I don't know. Anything else there? If not, I'll let Hoop take a shot at it, but I don't have much for Darnold.
Pretty much just JSN or Barner individually. It's not a game I love much.
Yeah, kick it over to you here, Hoop. It's the Titans at home versus the Seahawks.
Yeah, nothing else to really add. I mean, it's JSN and probably no Darnold. I mean, I don't know. It's like if you're playing Darnold, you're playing JSN. So it's not like you're going to have like a unique path by playing Darnold. Like no one's playing Darnold without JSN. So like, I don't know. I don't see the need for it. Good with JSN, obviously. Barner, I think, is fine. And not playing any Titans. I mean, they're projected to score 14 points, which is slight low number. Like no one's all the way down there. We have some 15s, we have some 16s. They're at 14. So I have no interest there.
Don't really need in my slate plan over on Ship It Nation, you can see it, but like I put more D's up top because I put it at the bottom. I prefer the spend ups. I don't always do this, but on FanDuel, the Titans were popping for us a little bit just based on 3K. And over there, if you need to get to 8,500 McBride or different things like that, I could see where it would make a little more sense. If you're not on Seahawks anyway, you're not scared of Kenneth Walker III with the glute injury, and then coming in likely to play still, but just noting that one popped up on Saturday or Friday, and then you're not on JSN or something, I'd be fine with the min price, but I'm not high on this game either way. So let's move to the afternoon. If you haven't yet done so, please do us a favor. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. Over 800 watching. We appreciate it. It helps move the show. It gets us moving as far as the algorithm goes. But if you want to subscribe to the channel, get all these shows for free. We are covering across 8 major sports throughout the season. So make sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Hoop, I'm going to stay with you. This is the big boy game of the slate. It's afternoon again, though. So you can move across to different things. We've already talked about the Lions and their spot. This is the other spot that the Lions just fit so nicely with, and people seem to love it. So just do the same as last week here, or what do you think? Brissett, Wilson, McBride, the other side, all the Jags. What do you got with Cards at home versus the Jags?
Yeah, I mean, appealing game, and you're looking at two quarterbacks that are going to be pretty highly owned because of this game setup and what we've seen out of the Cardinals, where they're just willing to sling it with Brissett. And these Cardinals games have been DFS gold recently. And, I think this is another spot where could be looking to see, solid output from these offenses on the Cardinal side. I mean, Michael Wilson with like 45 catches last week for like 50 fantasy points, just absolutely insane. Like he's locked in on McBride and Wilson. And again, they're just willing to throw it. So fine with that, fine with all of it. On the Jaguars side, I think Trevor Lawrence is fine. Jacoby Myers, I'm going to continue to play Parker Washington. Not as interested in the running backs here really at all. I mean, ETN, I think he was on the injury report this week. Sounds like he's going to play, but this Tootin guy is getting more work, getting goal line work. It's just not a good situation for DFS. The Arizona backfield with Knight and Carter and this Jefferson guy, I don't know. Like there's running backs in good spots today. I just don't want to be on this one. But yeah, I'm playing it for sure. I mean, this could be a big time back and forth game. Just need the Cardinals. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. They've gotten down early in the past few games and they've just nuked. So, I mean, you're looking at a game that has a lot of upside, a lot of potential. I'll be in it. I don't know if I mentioned Jacoby Myers, but the 4,700 price tag is very good. But like you said, though, a lot of people are going to come here for value, and then they're going to fill out the rest of their lineups with studs, because whatever you play here, you're paying a cheap price tag, even for McBride. McBride just underpriced on DK at 6,800. So everything really in this game is a value. So people will play this, and then they're going to go to, like you said, probably the Lions stuff with Gibbs and Amon-Ra, things like that. So it's, if you are coming to this game, be cautious with how you fill out the rest of your lineup. Try to do things a little bit different, because it's already going to be pretty popular. And then when you pair it with other popular spots, it's just going to be, you're going to be fighting with too many people to get to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, a lot of things within this game. First, you mentioned it though, Tootin. That's like a dad joke dream over here for us. Who darn Tootin? Or we'll be tooting our own horns later on when we played him over the other guys. Like that's the spot. And then our man David is back in here. This is the most hilarious thing of all time. Imagine You roll up to the NFL Hall of Fame. It's like, oh, these are the trophies from back in the day from so-and-so. Here's when Brady won the Super Bowl. Oh, here's when Brissett got his ass smoked, but he had the most pass completions in a game with a jersey, a custom ball, a flag. Like, you got everything up there for this guy. He doesn't need to do that again, title, but I think that's the possibility those are hoping for. Like, Michael Wilson is unlikely to get 15 and 185 again, but he could get 8 for 110 and still be just fine at 4,800. So give me your thoughts on this one, man. You got the Cardinals at home versus the Jags. A lot of pieces that are popular, but how do we put them all together?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's so chalky. I know for sure I prefer the Detroit chalk over this chalk. I just think there's enough ways of, like, if it's a running back game on either side or they can run the ball effectively, like I could see the pace slowing down a little bit. What also stands out to me is last week, Jacoby Myers, I played him at like 2%. Parker Washington was 20 or something. Now just the week after, we're going to pretty much switch that, I guess. I mean, I'll play Parker Washington again and prefer him at a much lower ownership, only $500 more. Yeah, I think Jacoby's a good receiver, but Parker has more rapport with him. And I just think it's too much of a correction in a week. Outside of that, yeah, like I want to play ETN, but Tootin was really like they're involved. So I think that's a split. Zonovan Knight, like I want to play the running backs because it leverages so much of the path, or like Lawrence will be owned, Brissett, McBride, Wilson. If all that busts, you'd think it's one of the running backs, but I played Knight, it's going to be Carter. I played Tootin, it's going to be ETN. I hope that they do it, and that's how this game busts, and then you really don't need much in this game. Greg Dortch is still showing like 2%, 4,300. Sure, I mean, if they're in garbage time again, he can get there. Just really no hot takes like Wilson, McBride, Brissett. I'm playing them. The one that really stood out was Parker Washington, though.
So we just got the news. Josh Jacobs likely. I mean, it's still the Tom Pelissero is obviously very, very key to give us the news from. It's going to be someone that we would trust. It says likely to be out. So
he's out. Yeah.
It's what we expected. Yeah. I actually don't think it changes much. The Wilson play will be popular for good reason. He's in a good spot, whether, you want to run with that or not. I gave an example of how you could play it differently earlier when we talked about the Detroit game, but this is another very interesting spot for me. So I haven't spent much time on too many of the other games. This one, though, I do want to spend a little bit longer because it was last year's fantasy football world championship when we had Brian Thomas Jr. and Brenton Strange chalk, a bit different price point than what we're talking about here with Michael Wilson and McBride, but everybody was just playing them and they weren't figuring it out on the other side. Nobody this week, I can't say nobody, but very few are going to be stacking up Lawrence, Myers, and Washington with Michael Wilson, with Trey McBride. I think that's an interesting way to go on this slate because there's at least a little love to the Jags running backs. There's definitely love to Brissett. There's definitely love to Wilson and McBride, but most are just playing like a Detroit stack and fitting in Wilson and McBride or whatever random stack that they have. I think it's interesting to go to the other side of this game and hope that, and Brenton Strange is back, speaking of him, but not that I think he's worth a play as much as if there's more people back to spread the ball around, move the chains, there's more opportunity there. And one of the most interesting things is Brissett, he kind of needs the team to get up on him to be able to get the garbage time that he's been able to get. If that doesn't happen and we just see a bit of a back and forth, it could actually be the other side of this game. It is still a pretty big total on the road for these Jags. You don't see it too often. We are still going to Arizona inside. Like, I think there's actually validity here to playing it that way. So I'm going to have some of that. I also don't think Dortch is anywhere near the play he was last week. Like, one thing about Dortch, big difference between him and Michael Wilson in physical size, and Dortch, like that 17-yard touchdown at the very end or whatever, obviously makes his day. His price also went up to 4,300, $1,000 more. If that guy even falls on the one, it's all, again, ifs and buts. I get it. But if he does, he's not like he's getting a ton of end zone shots or red zone look. Like, this guy is not that big. So it's not going to be a spot like that. He has to sort of catch one in stride, and he did, and he can, but I don't see it being the same spot. And I'm going to take a lot more of my love over to the Myers Washington of the other side. Maybe even Hoops boy, Timmy Patrick, old school Lion you could go to, but I'm not in love with that one. I'm just saying, I think if we see it pushed, this is a way to do it. So I actually have interest in this spot as a way to play those guys different. Title, anything else you want to add there, man? If not, we can move on to these last three games, starting with the Raiders at home versus the Browns.
Not really, and this one will be short. Defense, both sides. I mean, Bowers, Genty, I mean, Tucker. We could say names on every single one of these games if we really wanted. At the end of the day, I will not have much besides both defenses.
All right, Hoop, do you get any more to add? I mean, this is the funny spot. I guess the biggest thing, it's almost just like a side bet amongst DFS sites, maybe, of like what is the ownership? What is the correct ownership here, and who actually has more? Do you think the Raiders end up? I don't know what tournament you'd want to use. Not really a bet. I'm just curious. Like, it's definitely a thought right now. Do you think the Browns get more popular because they're cheaper, or do you think the Raiders get more popular? I know what our ownership says. It's just it is different at all these different sites across the board. Nobody can sort of take a stance on this one. What do you think?
Well, on FanDuel, I believe the Raiders are like 3,700, right? FanDuel is definitely On Deke, I haven't looked closely. Which one's cheaper? The
35.29 Browns are cheaper.
Yeah, probably the cheaper one would be higher on, would be my guess. I haven't looked deep into it though, and they're both going to be very popular, obviously.
Yeah, I don't really care either way. That was just my way of saying, like, I think it's interesting because you nailed the point, Hoop. It was what I was going to go to. Is on FanDuel, it's just a lock with the Raiders. Yeah. It was trickling over to the Raiders on DraftKings, which is where many people had the Raiders more popular, but now it does look like a lot of people can just flip it to the Browns and say, I'm just going to take Myles Garrett off all those sacks. Geno Smith got crushed on the most recent primetime, or one of the most recent primetime games that we watched. I'll just go that way. So anything else you want to add to this game, Hoop? Are you on Shedeur Sanders today? That's a topic of discussion.
Yeah, I mean, there's just 0% chance this game is anywhere close to the winner in terms of like a QB stack or anything like that. So yeah, no, some Genty, some Bowers in 150, maybe Trey Tucker. That's it, man. No, not playing titles, boy Buckins, that's for sure.
I put our guy Bellman, man. Matty Bellman came through with the DK slate report and the slate plan, and he has a Shedeur Sanders setup on there. So I had to put one in. Just got to trust my guy. I made some money off of my man Hamwich over on FanDuel over these past couple seasons. So bringing on the new guy. Shout out to Matt Bellman, just crushing it for us and all he does so far. And he put together a Shedeur Sanders concept that I ran with. We'll see how it goes. It's basically like Shedeur, Judy, pick one, and Bowers. And it is interesting because Bowers is 6K versus McBride is 68, but unlikely to work in my opinion, but got to trust it. I'm running with it. So I threw one of those together. Two good games to end the slate title. First up, we've got the Eagles at the Cowboys. Then we get to the Falcons at the Saints. And I think the Eagles-Cowboys one a little bit more appetizing. So I'll kick that one to you first and let you take a shot on it.
This is the one that I wanted to have more interest than I think what I'm going to get to. And the problem I think I come back to is there's just so many pieces on both sides that you really have to get it right. And I mean, if you want to play either quarterback, you have to pretty much spend there. CD or Pickens, that's pretty expensive. And if you play Saquon, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith's price actually pretty good. So I think both of them individually are my favorite plays. I don't see myself really stacking this game much, but 5'6" Smith, 5'9" AJ Brown, obviously both have 100-yard plus upside, touchdown. They can get there. Hurts still not being needed for the winner. My favorite Cowboy, I don't know, maybe Javonte Williams. Just he's going to get like no ownership, kind of in a strong range. People are going to want to go cheaper at running back. I'm really struggling on this game, though. I think it's more so a late swap. Like I won't have much pre-lock. And then the Arizona-Jacksonville stuff, if I need to swap off of that chalk, it's this game and then the Saints-Falcons stuff. But like when I'm going to like the Saquon range, I prefer Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Bijan. If I'm going up to like the CD Lamb stuff, like I prefer Amon-Ra and Rashee Rice a little bit. I don't know. I'm open ears though. I'm gonna hear what you two have to say about it because this was the one that really stood out to me that I had a lot less than. I mean, when you're looking at the total, you're looking at the names. It's in a dome. Cowboys, Eagles. Like I'm scared right now. I don't have enough, but I'm curious to hear your takes.
I definitely have some takes. I'll go to Hoop first, but someone did tag me. Shout out to at JD Andro on X said that Yahoo Sports posted last night that T. Higgins with Jamar Chase, 64.3 yards per game. T. Higgins without Jamar Chase, 102.2 yards per game. No sample size listed.
That doesn't say. Yeah, I was curious on that because if it was like a huge sample size, that's kind of big. But I can't imagine it's like a massive sample size.
Yeah, that's what I
I
was
know
thinking.
he's had some absolute nukes in there too. So yeah, who knows?
You know, else had some absolute nukes. Your boy Dak Prescott before. So
yeah,
maybe this could be a spot. But I like the other side. What do you like, Hoop? If anything.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the Eagles here. I mean, man, we just need it, and it hasn't really worked at all this season. A team that can just push the Eagles to do more offensively, and it just really hasn't happened. It just seems like a buy low sort of spot here for the Eagles. The price tags are way down. I mean, on DK, AJ Brown under 6K, Devonta Smith under 6K. Saquon Barkley 7.5K, kind of in a weird tier where people aren't going to want to play him. We talked about the quarterbacks where people are just not as interested in paying up. Jalen Hurts is right there, and they have Goddard as well. So I'm in on the Eagles side for sure here. And the thing is, it's like when this goes wrong, it goes completely wrong. Like you're just done, which is fine for DFS because we're trying to get to the top. Like we were trying to get to the top. But if the Eagles continue to play the way they've had success winning games, then it's a total bust, and it's totally fine. But I'm taking some chances here on the Eagles. I think the reason I like the Eagles is I think Dallas can force them to do a little bit. Like Dak's connection with CeeDee Lamb and Pickens has been amazing. I mean, really, we knew he had the good connection with CeeDee, but the connection he has with Pickens now is growing each and every week. And this looks like a very good wide receiver grouping, like him, CD, obviously, Ferguson. So you have a lot of pieces here. And I don't think it's going to be highly owned either. Like there's just no way it gets like super high owned. So I'm definitely in on it. You know, I'm more in on the Eagles side offensively, but I am interested in some CeeDee Lamb at low ownership. Pickens just too cheap for his role, and like Ferguson will be pretty unowned. So I do like this game. And again, there's so many good spots on the slate where it just can't get a ton of ownership, but I do like it.
Yeah, it's getting some late steam. Like I guess, Hurts in something like the 555 milli, you could see where Hurts, Smith, Brown, and Pickens are all 11 to 12%, 10 to 15%. But I'm not concerned about that because there's tons of ways to get different in the other spots. And it's also, that's 90% of the field that doesn't even have, any of that stuff on top of the mix of having all of it together, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not a huge portion of the field. Hoop nailed it though. My statement yesterday, and I posted on X, was that was the basis of it all. You don't often get spots like this where these prices exist on players that are capable, as these guys are. You have another side that could push it. People might not remember, by the way, and I know they're going to tell me about the difference defense, like the one that we got one game sample where they took on Geno Smith as like the reasoning, how this defense is better. These two teams had put up 41 points in the first half to kick off our season this year. We're talking about it's being week 12. They put up 41 in the first half. The lightning delay came back out. There was only 3 more points scored in the whole game, but there's definitely a possibility we see a back and forth. And if we don't, the lineup was dead anyway, like Hoop said. So it's, what's going to be required. You're going to need one team to push the other and it's really the Cowboys have to push the Eagles because otherwise the Eagles are very happy to just play, throw it 10 yards and drop, run 10 yards and stop and keep moving the clock and so on and so forth. So you don't want that type of game. You want the Cowboys to show up and push it back and forth. If you get that, it could be really interesting. The afternoon, late swap, different things. There's tons of different options, both sides of this game that you can play. I'll be mixing in Brown and Smith with Hurts. I'll also be mixing in Dallas Goedert at 4,200, another guy that can actually catch 2 touchdowns. He could, right? And so if these are all possibilities to make things work, I'm going to run lineups like that and use Lamb, Pickens, whoever on the other side. So Title, anything else you want to add now that you've heard our thoughts on this one? Or if not, you can take us into the final game, Saints at home versus the Falcons.
Oh man, yeah, I like just really thinking about it. Just feels like a lot of points can be scored, but I mean it can still go over the team or the game total, and you still really not need it just because of the prices of the individual pieces. But yeah, having at least like one piece in this game feels pretty good. We'll see where I end up. Again, it is late swap stuff, and we have the clear Jacksonville Arizona game that is the most popular. So depending on what you need to do with your lineups from there, that's a game I'll be looking at. Last game, Saints-Falcons. I mean, good old Kirk Cousins is back behind the center. And if Kirk Cousins is there, I have interest in the defense. $2,500 Saints, I think, can get after them. And, yeah, a lot of opportunity. Then I want to go Kamara, just like game theory, Saints D should be like, I think they win this game if they're playing a little above. But man, Kamara has been so bad this year. Running back, you can't miss in the sense of like it has some strong plays. Plus 175 to score is not very good. I don't love it. I really don't. So Olave, probably my favorite Saint. I'm fine with Kamara. And then other side, it's really just Bijan. Like Kyle Pitts, I guess, is fine, but I'm really struggling to get to pass catchers when Kirk Cousins is throwing the football. It looked terrible for him. He can't move at the end of the day. So yeah, Bijan and then Saints D, Olave, maybe a little Kamara.
Hoop, we talked earlier, speaking of one good game, we talked about Hunter Henry. Kyle Pitts Sr. had one good game, and it was, one good game maybe in 3 seasons, but one good game this season he had, and it was against Miami. It was the game where Kirk Cousins was at the helm and Bijan was chalk, and they got absolutely crushed and shut out. But 9 targets, 9 catches that game for Kyle Pitts Sr. Again, no London again here today. So any thoughts on that, Hoop, and then any love for anybody else within this game?
Oh yeah, it's tough, man. With Kirk Cousins playing quarterback, he doesn't have like the arm strength to throw it at all. Pitts is fine, cheap on FanDuel. I think he's fine on DK. Mooney, wide receiver 1. I'll probably have some, but it just hurts the entire offense here. And Bijan even hurts him. Like, so I don't know. Like, I'm going to have some of these pieces, but definitely not playing any Kirk Cousins. I have a little interest in the Saints, so it's going to be one of their better spots of the year. Chris Olave, Kamara, same concerns. Like, what is the true upside with Alvin Kamara now? I actually like him. It's kind of weird, like him more on FanDuel at 6,100, where if he just finds a touchdown, like that could be enough. Like on DK at 55, he's got to probably do more than a touchdown. He's always been a DK guy, though, because of catching the passes, but I prefer him on FanDuel because of the price tag. Talked about Olave defense for sure. Saints defense is going to be very popular and rightfully so. But tough to get excited about a football game that, Kirk Cousins is playing quarterback. Another thing that freaking annoys me about Kirk Cousins is good series on Netflix, the quarterback one. They ran it back with Kirk Cousins. Like, he was on there twice, I believe, right? And he's just like, seems like a nice guy, but he's like so boring. And like Mrs. Hoop watches, that's how she knows some of these players. She watches the quarterback thing and has it on. It's like, why in the world would Kirk Cousins be featured on the Netflix series quarterback? Like, he's boring. He sucks. He's a backup. It just didn't make any sense to me. So now he annoys me even more because of that.
They had Mariota on the first one, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was funny is I think it's because he was like a favorite. I know even my wife watched it and so like people like that he was just he didn't buy the $1 million. Well, it's a $1 million mansion, but it's not like what you see, like $10 million mansion overlooking X or whatever. It's nothing like that. It's kind of just lives a normal life. And people thought then his wife dresses him and all this shit, but it was like, man, the story's over. You told the best part of the story. What is there to tell now? I don't understand.
It was so boring.
If anything, it's like kicking him when he's down. It's like, at least you get a Netflix show, but now you're the backup dude. So poor Kirk Cousins, man. Yeah, the ladies must love him. Beetlebane at Beetlebane 7170 now. Shout out to you with the new nicknames in the chat. We love to see it. So funny you brought that up, though. I do like the Kamara spot. Also, his injury, I think it's just like he's nursing one every week. I think it's just like he's old now, or like he's not in his prime anymore. It's a slight ankle injury or something that they're just monitoring every week now. So I think he's just going to be questionable coming into every game, and it's just part of it. So good matchup there. It would be a good way, like Title said, if you are playing the Saints D, to sort of split the difference that way. Or I like a secondary stack of Kamara with Kyle Pitts, like I talked about earlier, where that's just going to be something that's unique enough in your lineups that can set it up. It's no color coding on Kamara on the stone, but he's got a questionable tag. That's why the matchup is good. The price is $200 more than some of those chalk guys like Wilson and that. So I think he's an interesting spot here if you think they show up. And I also like Olave, any format, just one off them, whatever powers Shaheed had when he was there to pick up these long catches, they've been passed along now to Olave. He's picking up some big catches now too, on top of just the classic, what used to be like Mike Thomas Jr. stuff where he just catch like 10 catches a game for 101 yards. Now it's kind of that plus some of the Shaheed stuff that Olave is picking up both. So as long as he'll go to the tent once, but he's like the Anthony Davis of the NFL. He'll come back out of the locker room, out of the tent. So hopefully that works out. Title, any final thoughts from you, my man, before we get out of here?
No, he definitely goes to the tents a lot, no doubt about that. And I just it brought me back. I asked Maddie, my wife, probably like 2 weeks ago, to name as many NFL players as she could, like yours did, and she took last place. There's no doubt. I think it was 7, and she struggled to get 7. Even the Packers players, she couldn't.
Well, she's still young. She hasn't forced. You haven't forced her into watching football alongside. So maybe
I always go to my boy's house on Sundays, so she doesn't have to be sitting there and watching it that way.
Once you have the baby and you're staying at home more watching football, she'll get into it, because Mrs. Hoop was not into it at all. And then it kind of depends, for the reason she got into it, obviously, because the Lions got a little bit better. So, prior to 3 years ago, she was drawing dead on probably naming one NFL player besides.
Well, the Packers have been great almost our whole life, and she could still care less.
That's true. Yeah.
But one of them, we went to high school with the guy, and then it was like Jordan. I mean, she got the easiest of all easies. Braxton Berrios, like yours.
There's something to do with that, though. He's dating. He's on one of those shows or something. That's why.
Yeah, and I think maybe Alex, or I don't know, some TikToker, but it was pathetic. I let her know. She called the next day when she was with her mom to try and do add some more. I'm like, it doesn't work like that. You lost.
Game over.
Yeah.
We didn't do the shows or the food takes for a while. I got one here actually, who before we get to your final thoughts, because I think the slate's mostly done, so people can hang out if they want. We'll hang out for a minute. But I had your thought this morning. Our store was out of waters. So we had to get Aquafina waters, okay? I think these are the second worst waters you can buy. I want to know in the chat, and then I'll get your guys' thoughts. What's the worst bottle of water that when you get it, you're like, damn, even though it's water, it's not. What's the worst bottle of water that you could possibly get or see as the only available option at an airport, at a Subway, or anyway? But this is the second worst to me. There's only one worse. Let them pile in, Hoop. They're going to get it right. But what's your take, Hoop?
So, just my water takes that I can't really taste the difference on the water stuff. I know some people
it's not even close. The chat knows it. It's like 100 to 1.
What, the worst? Dasani?
Dasani is the absolute worst water on the planet, man. It's like I don't understand what's in it.
Yeah,
I'm just able to tell.
I'm just a Kirkland guy. I mean, I'm a Kirkland water guy, and then the only one I think you can definitely taste that it's like above everyone else is the is it Fiji water?
Fiji's the best.
It's by far the best. Like, you can totally tell the difference there, that it's pure and you're drinking some good shit. But I'm usually just Kirkland guy.
Okay, Title, you had that one right? You know Dasani's the worst.
No, I gotta admit, I'll get flamed, but I'm Hoop here. I don't taste difference of bottled water at all.
Same.
Unless it's like a well water or something that's really gross, I truly don't. So Nades is gonna be on my ass. He said that's worse than Hoop steak take. So yeah,
take.
I'm team. I don't really care.
I usually if there's no Fiji, I'll get Smart, but I don't think Smart is even close to Fiji either. I think Fiji is definitely a class above. It's our guy Gary said tastes like a nickel, has been sitting in it. Yeah, that is a great way to describe it, actually. You just nailed it there. And I got to go back up for 2 seconds. I just got to see this one. We'll go back into some takes in a second. I just want to see here. This is the call. Shout out to Brittany. She said, I didn't know this. That makes a ton of sense, actually, because it is annoying. People are impersonating people and doing all kinds of crazy shit on YouTube chat. That actually is smart and good now. I'm not as against it. I appreciate that.
Ricky Pearsall's gone.
Yeah, our boy Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky P. Sorry, he's in here somewhere. We just don't know who he is.
That is interesting. Yeah, we should do some food stuff. We've got Thanksgiving right around the corner, so fire in some food stuff just to get.
What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving, food wise?
We don't do traditional like Thanksgiving food at all. Like going to my mom's house and she's doing like pasta. So
sounds really good.
Yeah, where she's doing like a pasta bar sort of thing with like different sauces and all that. So the kids hate turkey and all that crap, and it's just easier to do something that everyone likes. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing.
Do you guys eat? I think they call. I mean, you probably call it stuffing because it is stuffed in the turkey, but it's like do you put it right in the turkey and then have it come back out as like a dressing or a stuffing or whatever they call it, with like herbs and all this stuff in it? You know what I'm talking about? Like what stuffing.
Yeah, stuffing. Yeah. But we don't do the process behind like putting it in, pulling it back out. Just eat the stuffing. But Thanksgiving food has got to be like the worst. So like I don't even know if that's like a hot take and people are gonna get pissed off. But just standard Thanksgiving dinner is awful.
Agree.
I disagree. I think it's
Okay.
say it all the time. They say it's horrible because if it was so good, why wouldn't you make it all the time?
Yes.
The process of making it is insanity. That's why it's like a 12 to 24-hour job for some families of how they get it together and
but I think that's just like a thing that families do. They make it longer than it really should be.
It's
make
not
it
true.
take longer.
You got to cook a turkey properly. And the thing is, everyone that says that, they talk that shit while they're sitting down eating a chicken breast with potatoes and carrots and salads or whatever. It's like the same shit. It's just the easier version that you eat 100 times a year. The most people do. And it's just totally different. It's not the full ensemble. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The correct take for sure is like, if it was so good, you would be eating turkey like multiple times throughout the year if everyone loved it so much. They don't, and they're doing it just because they're forced to. Like, you're forced to, and then you got to pretend that you love it so much because it's like the holidays and you're around family, and it's like a nostalgia thing for most people. And it's just
it'd be called a tradition, I believe. Instead
tradition. There you go.
It's like, yeah, it's a traditional thing to do. Yes, but you can flip it. I mean, there's nothing better than a good prime rib. Somebody in our Discord yesterday in the food channel, which always popping off, shout out to P. Lewis, Nades, Kevlar, and everybody else chucking their stuff in there. They had a crazy like hot honey ham or something. That was just, that's you're flipping it a little bit. If you don't want to have the turkey because people don't like it, they make a nice ham. What are you doing, Title? What do you got on the go?
We're having people over, and because it's so much easier, we're doing Italian beef sandwiches, I think, with
nice.
a bunch of just
that sounds nice, man. Get some au jus sauce or something in there.
Yep, exactly.
There we go.
So easy for a lot of leftovers to send people home with. Easier for her. We'll have a bunch of food but no turkey and stuff over here. I do wish Kevlar was my dad, though. That dude looks like an insane cook.
Yeah, he got me some wine takes actually, and I haven't been drinking much at all in the last couple of months. And I had a little bit of this red wine that he recommended last night. It's a couple glasses, very strong. It was called Big Boys, and it was a red Zinfandel, which usually that's a lot of people go to the white wine for that stuff. This was good. Even my wife, who doesn't usually drink red wine, she liked it. So it's called Big Boys. I thought that was good.
Yeah,
people get passionate.
People
about
are on your ass.
Stuff. People get so passionate about it because they know I'm right about some of the stuff could be wrong on. But it's like the Thanksgiving thing. Like, man, I know I'm right on that. Most people do not like the typical things. And then here's the thing: like, if you like something, you continue to eat it throughout the year. My burnt steak. You think I just eat one burnt steak throughout the year? No, I eat a burnt steak multiple times throughout the year because I enjoy it. Like Thanksgiving, the turkey is awful, so no one eats it any other time. But they're forced to on Thanksgiving, and they're forced to pretend like they like it.
It's all timing. And anyone who doesn't like turkey never had a good turkey. That's the other thing about it too.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Let's see.
What's your guys' favorite pie?
Pie. So my favorite pie it's a unique one that my mom makes, and it's actually really good. And if you're like a pie person and like this sort of pie, like check out the recipe. But she makes like a mint pie. So it's like a crushed graham cracker, chocolate, and then like it's mint basically flavored. I don't know. It's really good. Like it would be like the ice cream, like mint chocolate chip, but in a pie form. Very good.
Interesting. So that made it sound more appetizing because I like mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of a good flavor to it. But my pie is definitely blueberry with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. You get the best. It's got all the little, just so good. If I'm having pie, that's what I'm going for. I'm not big on apple pie. I don't mind pumpkin pie with a little whipped cream, but that's like a same type of thing. That's more traditional to me than like the turkey side of things. Turkey takes forever, but pie, you just kind of have pumpkin because it's Halloween or close to, or Thanksgiving, or close to October and stuff. So what about you, Title? What's yours?
Probably pumpkin. Pie's okay. But I do like some fresh blueberries with a scoop of ice cream sounds good. Pumpkin's good. And yeah, hoop sounded good too. But I'm not the biggest pie person.
Title eats too healthy to enjoy pie.
Give me Handles, that ice cream. Oh, over here, Graham Central Station. If anyone knows Handles, the nut ice cream. Give me some other desserts.
Hoop is not trustworthy at all. Can't trust Hoop. Man.
Yeah, I mean, it's always funny. Everyone gives me so much shit. Then you start seeing people come out of the woodworks having my back. Like same thing here. Like, yeah, Yeah, hey, let's go on a date. Let's go out and get a nice turkey dinner. Like, you are getting no action by taking the lady out for turkey dinner. Like, it's just people don't do it because they don't like it.
No, you know what? That's these people that aren't stepping up to the wifey world. You're bringing your wife home to dinner at the nice Christmas dinner or the Thanksgiving dinner with your family. That's wifey. Turkey dinner is wifey, man. That's what that is.
See, all these people start coming out in my support. It looks like it's like a 90% to 10% issue. Then all of a sudden, my backers show up and we start to balance the shit out a little bit.
Ricky Pearsall said, "I'm still in here. Deciding definitely tastes like metal."
Yes, that is the best comment right there. Our boy, yes. But he's got
good.
the numbers now. Got the numbers. I like that.
This is actually amazing. That's why I brought it up. Shout out to Roth Window Cleaning Services, the biz. But this is what my wife makes that's good. And it doesn't come out of a turkey's ass. It doesn't have some weird thyme and oregano and all this bullshit in it. You make a nice stovetop stuffing, but you enhance it with like some hot Italian sausage.
Now we're talking.
Fire.
I can get behind that for sure. Some Italian sausage in there. Yes, absolutely. Anything but shitty turkey sounds great.
Yeah, that is good, man. I can't even keep up. People get really passionate about this stuff.
It's so funny. We'll stay here and talk about NFL DFS takes for an hour, and we get a decent amount of comments. You come in here and start talking about food. It's like the old FanDuel chat where you just can't even keep up with the messages.
Man, people really hate turkey though, because it's like they'll even bust out a cranberry and orange glazed salmon instead of eating some turkey. And that sounds amazing, by the way. I'm just saying it's funny. Like a lot of people are against it.
Here's something I like that a lot of people don't like. Beets. You guys like beets? Some pickled beets? No, pickled beets are so good, man.
No version of beets. No
really?
Beat it. Beat it off my table.
Beat off the beets.
Putting their cranberries on everything. Get those cranberries down there. I don't want those either.
Do you like prime rib?
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably too rare for him. I figured you did. You're normal, Tambo, but like Coop
Ice, very normal.
I don't like red. I'm not a big red meat guy, like I said. So no, that's too fatty. I don't know. I'm not really into it.
Let me ask you this, actually, now that you said that, the way you said that, is there anything health related to it, or is it all taste bud, or is it a mix of both? Because obviously you hear like
not health related. No, I don't care. I eat a bunch of shit I shouldn't be eating, so it's definitely not health related.
Is it texture?
What for the red meat?
Yeah,
I just
like
have never
texture.
Yeah, I just never been a like. I always prefer chicken over steak. Like I love chicken. I eat chicken all the time. Like if I had the choice of getting a nice steak, like for example, when you go to weddings, you usually pick chicken or steak or something, something like that. A lot of times, the women will pick the chicken. The guy picks the steak. I'm going with chicken. If I could,
you pick the chicken. You pick the chicken at mine.
I believe so.
Yeah, you probably did.
I don't know. I can't remember. But in those scenarios, it's usually the missus just filling it out and you're getting whatever you get. But no, I would always pick chicken.
Is that the pie?
I don't know what it's called. I mean, it's just like mint pie, but it could be something.
Someone said grasshopper.
Yeah, maybe that's it. It's really good though. If you find the recipe looking for something new, it's really good.
Sweet potato pie either. I don't know what that thing's all about. I like sweet potatoes though. I never had the pie.
Yeah, I was thinking more dessert. Like sweet potato pie sounds like a side.
We do got some pickled beets fans. You said you didn't like beets, Tambo, but have you ever had pickled beets?
I've had all of them, and I can eat them. They're fine. I don't prefer them. And you said we got some fans. I believe we got a fan. One guy, Mark K.
No, hang on. Long live beets.
I got a couple.
And they're actually really healthy. They're really good for you. So it's
man, our guy Nick Guthrie always here supporting. He said I'm going to finish top 15 in the Millie Maker today. What a endorsement from my guy. Like that's like what $1,000. It's like I need a little bit more than that. Nick, come on, pump it up. Says love me some turkey, but fried catfish, best Thanksgiving dinner ever. I had fried catfish once, and it was actually pretty good.
Sound good. It is true though. Yeah, definitely. My palate is more of like a 5-year-old kid for sure than an adult. I'm not denying that. Definitely not denying that.
Our man Trisket was with you just when he was starting to bring back his bad takes. He talks up beats, so he's in.
See, people are on the beats, man. People are on the beat.
All right, what else? Man, I thought I'm gonna get to the end of these comments eventually, and they just go on and on and on. Is that it? All right, I think we made it to the end. Beats are good. All right, too many people liking beats. We got to beat it. We got to get out of here ourselves. Oop, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Food or football? Back to football?
end the show. Ty,
Yeah, now we're circling back to the DFS.
Inactive to be out any second. Yeah, you got it.
It's a great slate. A lot of good spots. I mean, the main thing that I talked about in the opening, almost every game is either a good game or has one side that's very appealing for DFS. A lot of options. Ownership should get spread out. We got the news that we needed. No Aaron Rodgers, no Josh Jacobs, ready to roll. Let's have a big day. Let's get those Ship It Nation logos to the top.
And shout out to Michael, who likes beats and also remembers the mint bush. So he brought back, you love the mint stuff, man. He brought it back. So that's an oldie but goodie. We'll let that one play. Forget about grandma's wheelchair, but focus on the mint bush. That's a good one. Title, anything you want to add, man, before we get out of here? I know that we'll be back tomorrow for Monday Night Football before everybody enjoys the holiday week. But anything else you want to add for this one before we go?
No, an awesome, like you see right there, 5 days for $19. If you haven't tried us out, that does take you to the Thanksgiving slate. Always one of my favorite days of the year. Massive prizes, staggered start times for food, family, football, everything you need in one. So yeah, give us a try, and big boy prizes tonight. Good luck, or today. Good luck to everybody out there.
Yeah, and just Danny asked it earlier, but it is for the it's double whammy here because I'm going to pull it off the screen. He said, what package does the 5 days for $19 work for? And then after, can I pick? You can definitely cancel it and pick whatever plan you want after the 5 days, but the way you get it is on the core or content monthly all access plan. So the best way to do it so you can get Saber is get the $99 all access plan. It's under the core. It says $99. You put in code SHIP19 as it states on the screen. You'll get 5 days for $19. Come hang out with us in the Discord and we'll roll it from there. Let's have some fun today. Let's have another big week for the nation, for Hoop, for Title, and for myself, ToeTagginTambo. Let's ship it.